Do you like have any tips to give them as well? Some pointers for starting?
Well, prefer whole cut pieces of meat rather than processed meats, mainly because you don't know what's been added in and because of histamines. Mm-hmm. Make sure you're getting enough fat, because a lot of people, if they try to eat too lean, will start to have energy problems. Mm. They'll either overeat on protein, which can be taxing on the body, right, or they just won't eat enough. Right. And follow your hunger. Mm. Don't worry too much about trying to count things at first, because you'll be surprised to find that once you remove foods from your diet that weren't there when we were evolving our hunger signals, suddenly your hunger signals start working right. Mm.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, because plants want them to be eaten, in a sense, or fruit wants to be eaten, so that it could be spread more across different regions more easily. And it's like spiking insulin and spiking blood sugar is going to create more cravings for those foods as well, I believe.
Fish meat is practically a vegetable.
Where would you like the zero carb movement to go from this point onwards?
Right now, what I would mostly like to see is for more people who have those kinds of conditions I just talked about, just get the information that this is something that they can try, because a lot of those diseases, people have been taught that they just have to live with them. I thought I was going to have to live with depression for the rest of my life and manage it because I had some kind of brain imbalance that was a way in which I was broken. Mm. And that turned out not to be the case. There are other people who are in crippling pain all the time who don't have to be. Mm-hmm. So my first wish is that people hear about it so they have an opportunity to try it. And then secondly, that it gains wider acceptance as a viable alternative, so that without all the mythology that you need plants. Because as you said, maybe not everybody has to do that. A lot of people can probably tolerate a lot more plant material, right, and still be healthy. Mm-hmm. But if you feel better without them, you shouldn't have to live with worry that you're missing out on something.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. And at the same time, it shouldn't become like a confirmation bias as well. Like, okay, I'm feeling slightly inflamed. That means I have to stop eating fiber and stop eating plants. Maybe you simply eat too much protein, which itself can promote inflammation in a sense. You have to simply experiment and see. Yeah.
Self-experiments are very hard because there's so many factors. We all wish that we had a dozen cloned people to try out different things with all the factors the same, but we don't get that.
Right. Have you heard about these Bitcoin and carnivore diet people who are using only Bitcoin and eating only meat? Have you heard about these people?
Yes, I'm a big cryptocurrency advocate myself.
Okay.
You mentioned at the beginning, actually, about the Least Authority Enterprises. That's actually my ex-husband is the founder of that. And he also is the founder of the Zcash company.
Wow.
And so, he and I, and especially he, have been interested in cryptocurrency for since long before we met each other. And I'm very excited to see this becoming a reality. Mm.
So, that's very interesting. Yeah, but so your family is also eating a carnivore diet?
My children, you mean?
Yeah, like your children and your husband.
So my ex-husband mostly eats a carnivore diet, but I know that he has a weakness for cookies and sometimes will go off the diet. But he's very much a proponent of it. He's seen the health benefits himself. He's tried it many times and is very much in favor of it. The children, when they were younger, I had a lot more control over what they were eating and gave them the best diet that I could do. And my youngest child still eats a very animal-based diet with only a few plants thrown in. But the older ones who are teenagers, they're doing their own thing, and it's not really my place to force them to eat a certain way. Just to let them know what to do if they have health problems. I think they know they have a good education.
Yeah, like that's I think that's very important as well. But yeah, Amber, like we've been talking for quite a while, and I really enjoyed it. I learned a lot. And before I ask my last question, like where can people learn more about you and your work?
Thank you. You can follow me on Twitter. My handle is Keto Carnivore. And I also have 2 different websites. One is more focused on ketogenic diets and odd scientific things that have occurred to me, and some of my presentations are there. That's at ketotic.org, ketotic.org. And then I have a more personal blog that in the last few years has leaned mostly toward things about carnivorous eating, and that's Empirica, like empirical but with no A, and it's a .ca, so EMPIRI.ca.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll leave all the links to the show notes. And my last question is like, what's this one piece of advice or a practice that you wish you'd adopted earlier that improved your body and your mind?
Well, other than carnivorous eating, it's completely changed my life. So there's nothing bigger than that.
Okay. So that's your answer then?
Yes.
Okay. Well, yeah, indeed. Like it has definitely shown probably it has helped a lot of other people, I believe, as well.
Give me all the bacon and eggs you have.
But Amber, thanks for coming onto the show. Like I definitely really enjoyed talking to you, and I learned a lot about not only nutrition but human physiology and evolution in general. So I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Sim. It was a great pleasure.
Okay, thank you. That's it for this episode of the Body, Mind, and Power podcast. If you want to support us, then I would greatly appreciate it if you could leave us a review on the iTunes or the other social media platforms. Definitely check out the show notes for the topics that we discussed in this episode. Thanks for listening. My name is Sim. Stay tuned for the next episode. Stay empowered.